case. We're going to talk about it more now with our international affairs commentator, Doug Herbert. Doug, members of Alexei Navalny's Anti-Corruption Foundation, they say what we're witnessing here is a slow-motion assassination attempt by Vladimir Putin. What do we know factually then about the state of Navalny's health?
Well, first of all, if you're a Russian citizen, one of tens of millions who watch Russia's state-controlled television station, the First Channel, and you turned on your news this morning, you know nothing. That's because the three top stories on Russia's state TV this morning were the triumphant return of Russia's figure skating champions, the arrest of some people suspected of backing a U.S. coup attempt against Lukashenko in Belarus, and the expulsion of 20 Czech diplomats. Nothing about Navalny, nothing at all on Russia's state-controlled television. And the Russians themselves, really all we've heard from them is through the voice of Russia's UK ambassador, and who basically said that Navalny's being taken care of. This is all, he's acting like a hooligan. All he's trying to do is attract attention to himself. We've heard this all before. But what is the state of his health? The short answer to your question, Stuart, is we don't know. There has been no independently verified check on his actual health status at this moment. What we do know, though, is the results of recent blood tests, which his doctors, his personal doctors have, which show high levels of potassium in his blood, which suggests deteriorating kidneys, kidney failure, and also the possibility, as his doctors see it, of cardiac arrest at any moment. Hence, he can die in any day's line. There is a lot of pressure on the outside right now. The New York Times ran a stinging editorial this weekend on Sunday, calling on Vladimir Putin, saying basically that Navalny's life is in Putin's hands. It's on the line right now. You could see on your screen, just a little of that. Is that Putin should understand that letting Navalny perish in a labor camp would confirm him as a, quote, killer, a characterization President Biden said he shares, and as a vengeful despot willing to go to any lengths against his critics. And you could see it goes on. But that's really the line. This is Navalny's health, Stuart, has become a political football in Russia. And the status of his health and how Navalny's actually doing depends on who you ask. For the Russians, nothing to see here, move on. For the West, it is a dramatic situation with a man who's possibly within hours or days of dying.
Doug, you mentioned that growing pressure campaign. I mean, it's both inside and outside of Russia, isn't it?
Yeah, and Navalny's team compares the situation and the outside pressure campaign to what we saw last summer, shortly after Navalny collapsed on a plane in a suspected poisoning attack with a Soviet-era nerve agent called Novichok. We know the history there. After he landed in Siberia to save his life, he was flown to Germany, where German scientists in a lab there determined that it was Novichok, but Russia to this day denying that. We're seeing a similar situation right now. The denying him access to his private doctors, lest perhaps they find something that Russia's doctors and the Kremlin doesn't want doctors to find. You have had a prominent open letter written to Putin over the weekend by 70 prominent writers and activists and academics, including J.K. Rowling and Orhan Pamuk and Salman Rushdie, all demanding that Navalny get critical help now. You've had a chorus of governments right now. Joe Biden saying that his treatment is inappropriate and totally unfair and demanding that he get help as soon as possible. France's foreign minister also saying France is extremely worried at Navalny's condition, saying that he hopes the Kremlin will do everything possible to ensure both his, quote, physical integrity and ultimately his freeing from prison. Germany's foreign minister weighing in. You mentioned at the top of the show, the foreign ministers are going to be talking today. It's a big problem. We've seen that Europe, the U.S. has had trouble in recent weeks and months, Stuart, getting their act together, singing from the same song sheet, and really making Russia suffer consequences, whether we're talking about Navalny's health or the massing of Russian troops in Ukraine. So these are pressing issues for the West, but very dramatically divergent narratives depending on where you are in Russia or outside of Russia this morning.
Doug, thanks very much. Doug Herbert, our chief international commentator there.